Welcome to another Less Than 10 character guide where we cover all the necessary information in less than 10 minutes. We'll go over all the skills, weapons, artifact builds, and brief team ideas without wasting any of your time. If at any moment you feel like we're going too fast, remember to hit that pause button and take it all in. My name is Balthier and I'll be your guide. Now let's get into Raiden Shogun in less than 10. Starting with Raiden Shogun's Ascension stat, we have energy recharge up to a whopping 32% at level 90. Moving on into her normal and charged attacks, we have a 5-hit normal attack combo string, and her charged attack is unique to polearm wielders as it does an upward crescent swing. Next up, we have Transcendence Baleful Omen, Raiden Shogun's elemental skill. Activating this elemental skill will deal an initial strike of AoE damage, then grant party members, including herself, the Eye of Stormy Judgment. Characters with the Eye of Stormy Judgment active will trigger a coordinated attack whenever they deal damage, dealing AoE electro damage to the target. This coordinated attack can trigger every 0.9 seconds. Furthermore, any character triggering their elemental burst while Eye of Stormy Judgment is active will have their elemental burst damage increase based on their energy cost. Eye of Stormy Judgment has a 25-second duration, and Transcendence Baleful Omen has a cooldown of 10 seconds, meaning infinite uptime on Eye of Stormy Judgment. Her elemental burst, Secret Art Muso Shinsetsu, is a little more complicated, so let's start with her passive Chakra Desiderata. This passive is essentially always active while Raiden Shogun is in the party, and will gain what's called resolve stacks every time a party member excluding Raiden Shogun activates their elemental burst. Max resolve stacks is set to 60, and resolve stacks obtained is based off the energy cost of each elemental burst. Once Raiden Shogun activates her elemental burst, she'll consume all resolve stacks and deal massive AoE electro damage, and will shift into the Muso Ishin state. In this state, all of her attacks will be infused with electro damage and count as elemental burst damage. The initial damage and the Muso Ishin state's damage is increased based on the amount of resolve stacks consumed. While attacks in this state hit an opponent, energy will be restored to other party members and can trigger every 1 second up to 5 total triggers. The Muso Ishin state lasts for 7 seconds, and you have a 5-hit normal attack string and a charge attack in the state as well. For optimal damage in this state, it's best to normal attack 3 times into charge attack, as her 4th normal attack takes up a lot of time. Doing this correctly, you should be able to fit in 3 full combos in the 7-second time frame. Because of how resolve stacks work and how Raiden's burst helps restore energy to team members, it's best to slot her into a quick swap team with high energy requiring teammates. Raiden Shogun's A1 passive, Wishes Unnumbered, allows Raiden to gain more resolve stacks through gaining energy particles as well, making it easier to gain resolve stacks up to 60. Moving on to her A2 passive, Enlightened One, for each 1% energy recharge you have over 100%, you gain 0.6% more energy restoration to your party during burst, and 0.4% more electro damage bonus. The sweet spot to aim for with Raiden is around 300%, giving you 12% and 8% increases respectively. As for talent priority, go burst, then skill, as your skill only increases coordinated attack damage and the increase to other team members' elemental bursts. You can ignore her normal attacks altogether, they do not increase Muso Ishin's damage at all. Now let's move on into weapons and artifact builds. We're going to start off with weapons, then we'll move into artifact stats and builds. Starting with Raiden Shogun's signature weapon, Engulfing Lightning. Engulfing Lightning, just like all signature weapons, is tailor-made for Raiden Shogun. It not only has a base attack of 608 with a 55.1% energy recharge substat, but additionally, attacks will be increased by 28% of energy recharge over 100%. At 300% energy recharge, that's a 56% attack increase. Not only that, you gain 30% more energy recharge for 12 seconds after activating Elemental Burst. But if you didn't get a chance to pick up this polearm, we have a couple other 5-star and 4-star options to try and keep up. Starting with 5-star alternatives, we have Primordial Jadewing Spear. This weapon isn't absolutely amazing on Raiden, but it does the job. With a crit rate substat of 22.1% and a whopping 674 base attack, it helps making balancing crit and attack stats much easier. And with its effect, you gain 3.2% attack on hit for 6 seconds, up to 7 stacks for a maximum of 22.4% attack, as well as a 12% damage increase at max stacks. Because of its lack of energy recharge, it's only okay as a substitute. Next, we have the Skyward Spine. If you happen to get this off the standard banner, you're in luck. With a crazy high 674 base attack and an energy recharge substat of 36.8%, this is an excellent substitute for Engulfing Lightning. Not only that, but its effect offers 8% crit rate and 12% normal attack speed. However, the vacuum effect won't trigger, as technically your normal attacks don't land a hit, since the hit is considered elemental burst damage. Now, if you're looking for a cheaper route, let's look at a couple 4-star alternatives. Starting with the Catch. If you happen to get one of these through fishing, your hard-earned work will pay off. The catch is easily the best free-to-play option for Raiden, as it gives quite a large 45.9% energy recharge substat. Not only that, it increases the damage of your elemental burst by 16% and crit rate of your burst by 6%. At refinement rank 5, double this for 32% and 12%. All of its refinement material is free in the game through fishing. And lastly, if you don't have time to fish all day every day, we have Wavebreaker Fin. This is a 4-star gacha option, so you need some luck, but if you happen to have one, it's a pretty good option. Its 620 base attack is incredibly high for a 4-star, and its effect increases the damage of your elemental burst based on the party's combined energy cost. And since Raiden's is 90 and she generally wants high-cost teammates, it should be easy to get close to the 40% maximum. Now let's move on to artifact stats and builds. For stats, you're looking for an energy recharge Sands, electro damage Goblet, and crit rate or crit damage Crown, whichever one you need more of. And for sets, there's really only one option here, and that's the Severed Fate set. This set not only gives us 20% energy recharge, but it increases our elemental burst damage based off of our energy recharge. And since 250 to 300% energy recharge is our goal, it's a must-have. As for substats, we're looking for energy recharge, attack percent, and crit stats. Now let's check out some solid team ideas for Raiden Shogun. So the main thing to think about when making teams with Raiden Shogun is what exactly her strength is. That being a quick high damage burst window and the ability to battery other characters for more frequent elemental bursts. So it makes sense to group Raiden with characters that can utilize the energy while at the same time fueling her resolve stacks. Characters with high energy costs. This is exactly why Raiden National is such a popular team for her. Both Xiangling and Xingqiu want to burst on cooldown but have a heavy 80 energy requirement. And Raiden wants high damage off fields to help deal even more damage while she's bursting. Throw Bennett in the mix since both Xiangling and Xingqiu's elemental burst can snapshot the attack buff, and you have quite a force. The plus side is all 3 of these characters are 4-stars, making this team very cost efficient. However, if you happen to have a Eula and enjoy her playstyle, Raiden makes for an awesome partner, as not only is most of Eula's damage loaded up into her elemental burst, but Raiden provides small hits of electro damage, making it easier to trigger superconduct, reducing enemies' physical resistance. Raiden even boosts Eula's elemental burst damage with Eye of Stormy Judgment, making these 2 alone strong, meaning the other 2 teammates are open. Since this team focuses more on Eula, it's best to look for ways to further this by taking at least 1 additional cryo. Personally, I would take Diona here for her shield, but you could also take Chi-Chi or Mika, as Mika helps boost physical damage. And then as for your 4th slot, I would take Beidou personally. But in a lot of cases, you should just take Bennett in your 3rd slot. If you take Bennett, you should definitely take Rosaria into your 4th slot to keep cryo resonance and her boost to crit. If you want something a little bit more explosive and you happen to have Dia, try out my favorite Overload team. With this team, you'll take Dia and Raiden, and then Chevreuse filling the final slot with either Elemental Mastery Fischl or Yae. Xiangling works here as well. If you don't have Chevreuse, you can opt for Kuki and Xiangling and focus more into the actual damage of Overload, as Kuki has a high elemental mastery stat. These are a few options to fully utilize your Raiden Shogun, but feel free to try out your own ideas as well. The main takeaway is high energy cost teammates and potential electro-based reactions. She can also work well with Dendro characters. That being said, that was everything you need to know about Raiden Shogun in less than 10. If this guide helped you out in any way, please don't forget to hit the like button and show the subscribe button the true might of the Shogun. If the Dia Overload team piqued your interest, click the top left video for an in-depth showcase of the team in less than 10. And click the top right video if you want a less than 10 guide for Dia herself. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time.